Greetings, everyone. My name is Jeremy Holton. I'm a lecturer here in the theology program at Murdoch University, and I want to welcome you to THE510, Emerging Christian Theology, where we're going to be studying what's usually called patristic theology. That is, Christian theology as it begins from the writings of the New Testament and then emerges through the end of the 5th century. In this introductory video, I'm really just saying a bit, not so much about the topic of this unit, but a bit about the nuts and bolts. That is, what books are we using, how to navigate the website, and so on and so forth. Just wanted to put something brief up on day one so that if you have a look at the site, if you're enrolled in the unit, you know you're in the right place, you know the unit's up and running, and you know how to find your way around and go ahead and get started. A bit later in the same week, we're going to be putting up a video for myself, for Alex Jensen, and for Rowan Strong, because the three of us are teaching this unit together, and we want to each introduce ourselves and say a bit more about what we find interesting and important about patristic theology. So look forward to that coming later this week. First, just a bit about, because this is an external unit and we'll be doing it with the website, a bit about the website. You should be looking at the Moodle system from Murdoch, and if you log in, you will see, running down the left side of the page, basically 24 sections. That is 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, through the 12 sections. And this will be fleshed out a bit more as the semester goes on, but already for the most part it's filled in. And in order to study this unit, primarily what you'll do is proceed at your own pace, but we would encourage you to try to do 2 a week to keep up with the semester. You come to week 1, 1A, Prolegomena, What is Theology? That's what we'll be saying a bit more about this week. And you can get some introductory comments here with a description about the topic under consideration, perhaps some suggestions for how to approach the reading. So in topic 1B, we'll look at New Testament Christology, and I've given a list of things to read, followed by some reasons we're reading it, and then some suggestions for how you might approach the particular reading. The other thing that you will see week by week is, for most topics, the lectures will be available by simply clicking on a link. So let's come to one where I've already put the lecture up. When we get to 3A, we will be talking about the Septuagint and about the Jewish theologian and exegete named Philo of Alexandria. You'll come to 3A, you'll get a little discussion about why we're talking about the Septuagint and Philo of Alexandria, and then you'll see a link, in this case to a video I've put up for you. You can click on the link, and there we go. There will be the lecture, and in most cases there will be 3 lectures or 2 lectures. It'll differ depending on the week and depending on whether I'm teaching it or whether Rowan or Alex is teaching it. Alex has already set up a couple of his weeks, and they may look a touch different, but you'll get the idea. All right, coming back, a few other things, nuts and bolts to say about the unit. So you get the rough idea. You proceed through week by week. You'll have readings. There are links to e-reserve when necessary, and so on. Important to say about readings. What are the textbooks for the class? Well, there are 3, and you'll see this. All of this is in the unit information. So you can click on unit information and go section by section. And I won't sort of repeat all the information that's in this, but there are 3 textbooks. One is the Venerable Henry Chadwick's The Early Church, a fantastic work by a great scholar, relatively brief, easy to read, and that will orient us. The other 2 required textbooks are a copy of the Apostolic Fathers. Yours will look different than mine, but these are available also at the bookstore. And the Apostolic Fathers, anytime we're reading something from the Apostolic Fathers, it will simply say in the unit guide, it will simply say AF. So if we're reading Ignatius of Antioch, you'll look at Apostolic Fathers, and here are selections from his letters that we'll read. The Martyrdom of Polycarp, that's in the Apostolic Fathers. Anything that's not in the Apostolic Fathers or in Chadwick or in our one other textbook, you'll see that there's a link and it's on e-reserve. The third required textbook is a collection of patristic theological texts by Hardy called The Christology of the Later Fathers. And likewise, you'll just see in the appropriate weeks an abbreviation that, this ancient text that we're reading this week is from Hardy. The one other resource I just wanted to say a word about is, as you'll see in the unit guide, I've mentioned it's often a good idea to have a look anytime you're confused or you want a bit more information at some good early Christian encyclopedias. And in fact, in topic 1A, we're already reading a couple essays, and these are from Everett Ferguson's The Encyclopedia of Early Christianity. On almost any topic we will touch on in this unit, you will find an article written by an expert with advice for further reading. So if it's something you're writing a paper on, you can get some good bibliography, find out what's important on that topic. I've also given references to two other, I'm not going to show it to you, two other excellent encyclopedias. And I encourage you to get familiar with these, and you might even want to invest in one if this is an area you're interested in, because it's just a great way to get a synthesis and to refresh your memory if you're studying for the final exam and so on. Okay, I have now just alluded to two topics that everyone will be interested in, papers and final exams. There are 3 pieces of assessment in this unit, and they're rather straightforward. They're all described in the unit guide, but I'll just say a word about them. There is a paper on the material we're studying in the first third of the unit. It's a 2,000-word paper. It's described in some depth. That's due at the end of August. There is a paper on the latter 2/3, the theology studied in the latter 2/3 of the unit. That's due at the end of October. And then there's a final exam, a 2-hour written final exam. The descriptions of each of those assignments is given at some length in the unit guide. So I won't say more about them now, but naturally, if about the assignments, about the textbooks, about the website, or anything else is confusing or you have questions, by all means, simply send me, Jeremy Holton, an email or ring me in my office, and I'll be happy to try to address that. Having said all this, I'll try to keep this brief, and you should see already later this week an introduction from the 3 of us about theology in early Christianity, and also, perhaps by the time you're reading this, already there will be the lecture for 1B, that is New Testament Christology, which I'm finalizing today and uploading for your viewing pleasure. Thank you. I look forward to studying this together, and I hope you have a great semester.